Great seeing you in this new video. Welcome again, and we're continuing with earned value management and cost allocation over the duration of activities. Here we're going to look at the activities and the cost per period that we allocate to them. First of all, we're going to look at the different ways of cost loading of activities. We will be looking at even loading. We will be looking at front loading, back loading, and custom loading. And these are the different ways, the principles to allocate costs to activities. Later, we will going to look deeper into some rules that when you look at earned value management, when you look at the standards and the way to implement EVM, we will see that there are some additional rules that we should apply. So first, let's have a quick look at cost loading of activities. And what we're going to do, we're going to add the cost to the activities. It seems something easy, but we must do it carefully because it's very important that we allocate the costs in an as realistic way as possible. Once the schedule baseline has been completed, we find all the activities in their planned start and finish position. That's basically the schedule baseline. And over the duration of the activities, we may have changed the commitment of the people working on that activity. So we may have in period 1 resource A working 50%, resource B 80%, and so on. So it can change. And of course, this has a financial impact on the activity. For every period that the activity takes, we may have a different amount of money that is spent depending on the resources assignments. A first way of dealing with this, a simple way, is what we call even loading. Now, this is the simplest way that we can do. In this case, with even loading, every period has the same cost and the value is earned when the work defined in each period is completed. A typical example would be a programming working 40 hours per week, and this over 3 weeks or periods. The assumption here is that the work is done proportionally over all the periods. So every period that person is working the same number of time, or the people are working, let's say, or the totality of all the efforts add up to the same amount for every period. When we look at our example, Julia, what we did, we applied this. We just took even loading. Why? Because it's a simple way to look at the exercise. But when we are working with earned value management, we have to do this properly. Now, in the simplifications, in the exercises that we are going to consider later, we will see that we're going to take even loading. Although we know that we may have to do it differently, but it's just to show how the formulas work. So what type of loading that we are using for the exercise is not so important. We also have front loading. In this case, the cost of the activities are allocated for periods or activities which are having a limited duration of 2 periods. If we have 1 period, there is only one place you can put the cost as that period. But when we have small or short duration activities, we can consider front loading. And here we assume that the costs are all allocated to the first period of the activity. The value of the activity is earned when the first period is completed or when the work is completed. So when we are looking at the work, when that work has been done, well, that work will be earned and there is nothing to earn anymore in the second period. And that's a simplification. In some cases, this can be applied when you have to buy something, when you just have to put the system together and it takes, for example, another few days to for the computer to work, to start up, and yeah, there is no work that you have to do, so all the work has been done in the beginning. Backloading is a similar approach, again, when we have a limited duration of 2 periods, but now we earn everything at the end. So all the work, when the work is completed, we earn everything. And that's also a typical way to work with in certain cases. And we earn the value of this activity when the last period, the second period, the work completed or planned for that period has been completed. You earn that money. There is no cost allocated to the first period. We also have custom loading, and this is a thing that we will encounter more when we cannot use any of the previous methods. We look at the nature of the work and we see how much work is done in every period, and it will also have or can have, no, it has a different value for every period. It can be different, it can be different ways we can see it, and we found out with the work that we are planning what is the cost related to the work done in each period. For example, there may be 7 people working in the first period, then 10, and then 8 people. So this could be a reason why we have custom loading. We have an uneven allocation of resources over the duration of the activity, or can be human resources, material resources, and other resources that we are using, like equipment. These are things that we have to plan. We have to see how this activity is going to be performed. The cost of each period is corresponding with the actual cost incurred during the execution of the activity. So we have the actual cost, what we are expecting to find, to get when we are working on this place, on this activity. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in our next videos. Bye bye.